Coach, you said the defense had to travel to the desert. How would you describe the way it showed up?
Oh, big time, big time. I think going into tonight's game, Katie, in our building, they were only averaging 98 points a game. And in this building, they're averaging 125. So to hold them to 100 points tonight was just a thing of beauty. And that's when we're at our best. When we defend, when we rebound, when we run, when we share the ball, we all believe that we're the best team in the NBA. And tonight we showed that against a very talented team on their court. So it's great that we close this series out. We'll go home, get some rest, and try to figure out who we play next round.
Collectively, what was the mentality coming into this game, and then how was it executed? Because looked like you guys were locked in from the tip.
Our mentality was take it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to give it to us. We got to go out there and take it. You're playing against a team with their backs against the wall, facing elimination. You just can't show up and think you can just arrive at this game and work your way into it. And we did not want to be counterpunchers. We wanted to go out and strike first. And I felt the start that we got off to was just outstanding. And second half, man, just kept waiting for that run. Got through the third quarter. And to our guys' credit, we had the right mindset coming into the game and for 48 minutes throughout the game. And that shows maturity. And very proud of our group. Our goals, we weren't satisfied winning the first round. We're not satisfied now. Our goals are much bigger than getting to the Western Conference Finals, but we're definitely heading in the right direction.
Michael, pregame, you credited KCP for kind of setting the tone in Game 5. Tonight he comes out with a pretty incredible first quarter. What stood out about what he gave you in those first 12 minutes?
Well, I didn't want to take him off the floor. That's how well he was playing. The defense, the offense, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Vinny, I think he had 17 points in the first quarter. You know what I mean? Like he was, and I tell you, man, there were some shots that we made, some plays in that first half where I said to myself, man, the gods are with us tonight. I mean, we had some unbelievable plays where the ball went in. We threw a lob dunk, it got tipped and went in. We had a couple of plays at the basket that we just threw something up and it went in. And so somebody's looking down upon us, and we appreciate that. But KCP was great. I think he took that. Devin Booker's a great player. We all understand how great of a player he is. But you can't be afraid of greatness. You have to go out there and challenge greatness. And I think KCP did a really good job of trying to limit Devin Booker as much as possible. And I thought he and Bruce tag teaming him was just phenomenal tonight.
Coach, what is it that fuels your belief and the belief of your players that you guys as a collective union are capable of accomplishing something that's never been accomplished in the history of the franchise?
Well, I think we understand that the talent we have on the roster, the chemistry, the camaraderie, and we've proven this year that we can beat anybody. And we've beaten the best teams in the NBA. You look at our record against the best teams in the Western Conference, it was a phenomenal record. So I think, you have a two-time MVP in Nikola. You have Jamal Murray, you have Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, KCP, Bruce Christian, and Jeff off the bench, and guys that haven't played a lot behind that, but who I know are staying ready for any opportunity that may be out there for them. But this team has worked very hard for this. This is not happenstance. This is not us just being lucky. We're healthy, which is really, really important, and we're a very good basketball team.
Michael, you said before the game you wanted your team to treat this like you were down 3-2 in the series instead of up. Did you have to say anything to try and convince them at halftime that they were not winning or that it was not as close as a 30-point game at that point?
No, I challenged them at halftime, and I said, we haven't done a damn thing. I said, understand why we're up by 30, and do not come out complacent. This team put up 50 points in the third quarter in the first round against the Clippers. And don't be that team that gets away from what allowed them to be successful in the first place. Do not get bored with success. And I called a timeout in that third quarter because I told our guys, I said, listen, where's the team that I saw in the first half? Because I don't see them right now. It's not the same team. We have to get back to being desperate, urgent, disciplined, and then we kind of got back to that. But, in a 48-minute game, a team like that's going to make a run, and to our guys' credit, we were able to withstand anything they tried to put forth.
You mentioned can't be afraid of greatness when challenging somebody like Booker. How about this team itself not being afraid to be great? And when did you see this? How have you seen this team embrace that?
Yeah, it's I go all the way back to San Diego and training camp. And one thing, thank you, James, appreciate it. One thing that stuck out to me in training camp in early October was how quickly this team became close. And you got to understand, which I know you do, but some people don't, the number of new faces that we brought in. We lost 8 players, we brought 8 new guys in. And for us to have that kind of instant camaraderie and chemistry and spending time together off the court, I knew that was going to bode well for us this season. Then as the season went along, I think we were but middle of December, and I always go back to this, but I really felt it was a defining point in our season. December 8th at Portland, Jamal Murray hits a game winner. And that was big for a couple of reasons. One, that I think reminded Jamal of the greatness that he has within him. And he's kind of over everything he's overcome with the ACL. But it also was a jump start to us playing at a very high level on defensive end and winning at a very high level. And I think shortly thereafter, we were in first place in the West from then on out. So, we understand that we can only be great by playing the right way and staying true to our identity. And our guys in this series 4 times did it at a very high level.
Michael, you talked about how you guys were number 1 in the West for over 100 days. People talk about other teams. You talked about how Phoenix was even a favorite entering the series, according to some people, or even Vegas.
Not you, though. I'm taking names, baby.
Yet, in the next, even though your odds have gone up in Vegas, I think after the last win, the next round people are going to be talking about LeBron and the Lakers or the defending champs. Do you guys like that? Do you guys thrive off that? I mean, or do you feel like you guys are just proving everybody wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like for years now, some dusty old cow town in the Rocky Mountains, the little respect that we get. And you can sit there and fight it and complain about it, or you can just embrace who we are and what we have. And I'd rather not waste time on all the pundits who count us out or don't give us the respect that we deserve as a team and everything that we've done. But there's one thing we haven't done. And until we win a championship, people are going to keep saying that about us. So that's what drives us home, is winning a championship. Getting to the Western Conference Finals doesn't do it. Getting to the finals doesn't do it. It's winning a championship. And that's something that we can all savor and enjoy and embrace and have that forever. That's something no one can ever take from you. And that's what is our motivation on a day-to-day basis.
Michael, you guys scored 44 points in the first quarter, which tied for the second most points you guys have ever scored in a playoff quarter. What does that say to you about this specific group, against a team whose backs were against the wall on the road? And could you kind of feel that type of a hot start coming into this game for you guys?
I wish I could say yes. You never know when the jump ball goes up. I could tell that our guys were really locked in. We had a really good win in Game 5 at home, but there was no celebrating. Understood that we had work to do here in Phoenix. And I told them before the game, don't give in to that human element of, we have Game 7 at home in my pocket. No, screw that. We don't have Game 7 at home. Game 7 is right now. So I didn't know we were going to score 44, but the amount of defensive stops that we got out in transition, attacked the basket, I felt we played with a really aggressive mindset tonight. And that we're going to have to continue to do that as we move forward.
Later in the game, you had Jokic and you had Jamal out on the court. Was that about championship habits and building that, or what went into that decision to keep them out?
When they were still on the floor? Yeah. Just, making sure that we get the win. I think we're up. They cut it to maybe 20. And then around once the 3-minute mark hit, I got those 2 guys out, trying to avoid any potential injury in the last 3 minutes of that game. And then we obviously emptied our bench after that. But just trying to secure the win and make sure we're playing the right way and making sure nothing crazy happened out there.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Coach, 2020 seems like a lifetime ago, right? You know, the last time you guys were in the conference finals. So what was that moment like in the locker room, just knowing that you'd be back there for the first time since COVID and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys are they're excited, but it's a controlled excitement. And what I mean by that is we just beat a really good team, on the road convincingly in an elimination game. And these games are the hardest usually. And tonight we were able to, win by 25 points. So there's excitement for us doing our job at a high level and for advancing. But at the same time, we're not celebrating and popping champagne and throwing water over each other because our goal wasn't to get to the Western Conference Finals. I keep saying our goal is to win a championship. So we have much more work to do and excited to head home, get some rest. I mean, Jamal played through an illness tonight, and can't say enough great things about him. Nikola got another triple-double tonight. KCP's performance. Bruce Brown again off the bench. Like, this was thoroughly a team win, and I could not be more proud of the 17 guys in that locker room. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach, you've talked about just not even giving up 30-point quarters, but to start the game with a 44-pointer. How much of that played into what happened the rest of the game?
It was pretty much the whole game. 81 points in the first half. It was deflating to just see them score like that and, running down the floor, getting easy buckets. And that falls on my shoulders, not having us ready to play at the highest level in the biggest game of the year, bottom line. And to your point, like that's just not who we are and who we've been.
And then just to follow up, when you're looking at the way they were scoring, I mean, you said like through 6 games, what they're going to do. Was it almost like you're talking to them like, hey, we've seen this? I mean, what were you trying to get across to them during that?
Well, at that point, you're just trying to get the spirit back. When they're running their offense with great pace and physicality on offense, and then we didn't make shots, and I thought that sent us into a bit of a tailspin, which is not common for us. We've been in games where we miss shots and we're able to get the stops we needed to, be productive. We just couldn't get any stops in the first half.
Monty, when the deficit grew to that length, what did you see from the guys in terms of the effort they were trying to do and like trying to balance not doing too much?
I thought the effort was there, but it wasn't at the highest level where we needed it. I thought the shot missing messed with us a bit. Not having DA as a roller tonight, you could see the difference in their pick and roll coverage. They were stealing out to shooters more tonight, and they were actually in the passing lanes a bit more. But I thought we missed a ton of shots early, and I thought that brought our spirit down.
I know you're not big on comparisons, but this is 2 straight years with an ending like this at home. Did you sense a different energy from the guys, at least, though, to what I was asking about earlier?
I can't gauge that. I'm not quite sure if I can compare. They both are they bring bad feelings about the game and what you're trying to accomplish. Neither day feels good.
Coach, Book's efficiency since that fall in the first quarter last game, it just wasn't quite the same. Was he fully healthy, or did that impact him?
I haven't gotten a medical report on that, but I think he is dealing with some soreness. Just watching him, he didn't have that same pop, and he's just too tough of a guy to admit when he's, feeling something. But there's nothing official as far as an injury is concerned. He just was toughing it out, and finally I just took him out of the game.
When you have another season that comes to an end like this, I know you guys didn't have as much time with Kevin as you wanted, but what's kind of your outlook for the franchise as far as what you need next time?
It's too hard to talk about that stuff right now. It's an emotional, tough loss. It's hard for me to even see past today. I want to go in there and talk to the coaches, and we will reevaluate as we go forward. But you're right, this is 2 years in a row where we've lost in elimination games like this, and it's just a bad feeling.
This franchise obviously has had championship hopes for a few years now, legitimate championship hopes. What do these, as you said, painful and very similar endings say about the group that you have, or the process that you guys have trying to put this championship puzzle together?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's two different groups. Last year's team is totally different than this year's team. Last year's team was more of a ball movement, body movement team. This year we're more pick and roll oriented and ISO oriented. So it's two different situations altogether. And so that's something that we need to take a look at to see what kinds of combinations of players we have to fit the style of play. But it's hard to make assessments about those kinds of things after, 20 minutes after a loss, if that.
Cam played the most minutes, and he obviously had the most efficient shooting night. So what can you say about his play in this series to help rejuvenate your team and tonight?
I thought the pace that he brought in games 3 and 4 certainly helped us win those two games, and it changed their defensive mindset in game five. They did a good job of nullifying the pace with physicality, but he brought energy and scoring, and when he got the ball, he was getting it down the floor, putting pressure on the rim. I thought Jock did the same thing from a sprint aspect, rim runs, stuff like that, just causing cross matches. He and Cam helped us win 2 games in this series, and I'm thankful for that.
Monty, in the past, you've talked about how you reflect on a season as a whole, and in games like this, how do you process it the first 24 hours and then do more of it here in the off season?
I mean, the next 24 hours will be what you can imagine. You feel like you don't feel that great. I take that personally, not having our team ready to play in the biggest game of the year. That's something that I pride myself on, and it just didn't happen tonight. And so that's something that I have to really take a deep look at everything I'm doing to allow us to be successful on these days.
Monty, this might not be a fair question after the 20 minutes after the game, but how do you characterize this season itself?
I don't know. There's so many variables in a season like this, but they all seem like excuses. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not into that. I look at myself first before anybody else, and you could point to all kinds of things, and I don't want to list them because that's just not. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think you have to look at yourself, and that's what I'm doing right now, is looking at the things I can do better to help us on days like this and progress better during the season so we're ready for days like this. So there was a lot of things that happened this year, from injuries to trades and, a lot of external things that could have been a distraction, and the guys just hung in there all year long. And I applaud the guys for that. We had a number of distractions this year, and they just stayed the course, and we just couldn't get it done today.
Coach, when you look at KD's shooting, it was kind of uncharacteristic for most of the series. Did it feel like, what would you attribute that to? Was it trying to fit in on a new team, or?
It's a hard one to really understand, this early after a loss. Maybe it's something that I'm doing or we're doing, or maybe he just missed, the shots that he's accustomed to making. I'm not quite sure yet. It's something that we'll have to evaluate as we go forward.
Mike, I was going to ask you something similar, but it just seemed like that after he got off to a slow start, shooting-wise, his body language maybe a little bit. Did you feel like he felt the pressure of just trying to be the normal shot maker he normally is?
I just think he cares. I think he wanted to, bring this town something that it's never had before, and that's okay. If a guy's upset about not making shots and not making plays, that's fine. I'd rather him care and have that feeling than to not care. So I'm okay with that. I think it says a lot about who he is. He wanted this badly, and I wanted it badly for him. So I just feel bad for all of our guys.
Hey, Monty. Last year, if I remember correctly, after the Dallas game, you similarly took it upon yourself that you could have done better, you didn't have the team ready. Is it just because that's the way you are, you want to take the responsibility for it rather than, basically pass it off to the players? Or what's your thought process behind that?
I'm just not a blame guy. It's just not my personality. It's not how I was raised, not how I was taught. I'm a no excuses, no explanation person, when it comes to getting the job done. And I have people that I answer to, and they put a lot of trust in me. And when I let them down, it's just part of being a competitor. You want to win, and that's the ultimate goal, is to win. And when you don't, I don't know of any competitor who doesn't look at himself first and try to evaluate so you can be better. Thank you.
Monty, thanks for everything this season.
Thank you.
Cameron, obviously, we've talked about you as far as pushing the pace and getting involved, but you had a career playoff high, 31 points. Just what was flowing for you tonight, and how much were you doing all you could to keep this team in the game?
Man, the three was working for me tonight. Just kind of kept shooting them. Like they was falling tonight. Just wasn't enough though. Literally pushed myself to exhaustion tonight. Really every night I play as hard as I can. It's the playoffs. Like, I'm tired, but man, the three-pointer was working for me today. Out of all the games, it was working though. Tried.
How frustrating though is tonight to have a game like that and you guys get beaten the manner the way you guys did?
It hurt. It hurt big time. It hurt big time, especially like with our team. Like, it just hurt, and in front of the fans. Like, that's not us. Especially after last year's, we kind of did the same thing. It's not a good feeling. I just wish it would have been at least closer. At least. Of course, I want to win, but this just don't look good.
Cam, what do you kind of attribute those first quarter run? Because, last year it was down 30 at halftime. This year was the same deal. What do you feel like spiraled out of control in those games?
I was probably say, I mean, it was close in the first, but it kind of got away toward the end of that quarter. It's crazy, man. I can't even remember the game, man, because we was losing so bad. We just missed. We missed a lot. I know our two guys. I know they wanted to shoot a lot better and hit a whole lot of more points. So I know they're very upset about that. But I mean, I don't really know, man. Denver, hats off to them, man. They came out and played well on the road. That was big time. Like, all they guys actually came out and played well, and it was tough. We was just a little slow tonight.
And what can you say about the past three games that have helping spark the offense, and what exactly did Denver do to take the other guys out but leave you open to basically do whatever you could to help save this team's season?
Well, my thing was just to try to push the pace, try to get us going a little bit quicker. The first two games, we were kind of like playing kind of slow over there in Denver. I ain't know three was gonna go out, but when I had the opportunity, my thing was just like push the pace, like from watching on the side, like, man, we can get a couple more easy baskets. I still feel like we could have got a lot more easy baskets. I wish we would have got a lot more easy baskets, because that's what Denver did. They got a lot of easy ones. I feel like we worked for everything, like literally everything. It really wasn't no easy baskets for us, I don't think. But, man, I just wanted to push the pace, try to give us a little energy change, the swag of the gym, swag of the team. I don't know. I just try to play faster.
Cam, at some point, Coach Monty said it was about trying to keep those spirits up in the game. What are the discussions like between the players when it's tough, trying to push through to keep the spirits up?
I mean, we always say, man, let's get some stops. Like that's the way. I feel like that's what fuel our offense, which is like the great talk we need as a unit. But we kind of got to go out there and do it a little bit more. Like we say it a lot. Like it's crazy. We all know what we want to do, know what we're supposed to do, and like when we go out there, I don't know. They kind of get a basket and we kind of hang our head, which is, I mean, it's the NBA. Like they got guys that's gonna score. Like Jokic hit 51 games, so you can't really hang your head. Just got to keep playing. So I mean, it's just the rallying, man. We got to rally a little bit more together. Really talk it out as a team. That's it.
Kim, just for you personally, how difficult was it, if at all, just to come back and be in the role you wanted to, coming back from the back injury you had?
What'd you say? I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Was it difficult for you at all to come back into the role you wanted to with the back injury you had?
I mean, a little bit. Obviously, I wasn't playing. I was just kind of sitting and watching. I mean, during the regular season, a little bit different. But it was playoffs, and you know, it's a lot more physical, things like that. Like, you know, I was a little fatigued. Couple of those games, it was like a little short spurts, but like C went out, so I had to play longer. So it was just a little different for me. Wish I would have played a lot better. But I mean, tonight I came out and played all right. It just took a couple games for me. I just wish we were still playing to really show y'all I got a little bit more to me. Thanks, Ken. Yo.
Kevin, when it just started spiraling out of control there at probably the end of the first or start of the second quarter, what's going through you guys at that point where it's just getting out of hand and the lead is stretching?
Yeah, it sucked. It was a bad feeling. It was embarrassing. They came out and hit us in the mouth. We couldn't recover. You know, you got to give them credit for being a disciplined team.
Curious like we've talked before about elimination game, and you were saying play each possession. Well, it's your last, and play a certain fashion. How early could you tell that you guys weren't doing that at the level it needed to be to win this game?
When we got down big, I mean, it happened pretty fast. They were getting whatever they wanted on the offensive side of the ball. So it's hard to get going on offense. It's hard to get going as a team if you're giving up points, that many points. 44 in the first, 37 in the second, 81 points at the half. It's tough to get going.
Just have one more follow-up. Just curious, you obviously when you came in, it was a rush, and then you get hurt and lose 3 weeks, and trying to piece this together. Maybe just speak to the challenge of all of that, and then you get in the playoff series where you don't have as much time as you would like against a team that's really good.
Yeah, if I provide context, it'll just be looked at as an excuse. We just got to be better next year.
Kevin, I know you've been asked a lot about that in the last couple of weeks, and I'm not trying to provide excuses for you or anything like that, but for a player like yourself who rarely looks like you're pressing, you rarely look uncomfortable, just how did you feel on the court for these 11 games in terms of getting to your looks, getting to the shots you normally get to?
I feel good sometimes. I felt good in Spurs. It wasn't consistent. Shots that I felt good leaving my hands didn't go in, But it was just the name of the game. It's frustrating for sure, but just keep working, get back into the gym, keep getting prepared. That's really what it is. The routine don't stop. The crafting of my skill don't stop. Just keep working from here.
When seasons end for you, how do you process them both instantly in like the first 24 hours and then over the course of the off season?
I just try to control what I can, which is working extremely hard and putting a lot of preparation into the game and my skill, and then just being present for the organization wherever they need me at any point, just making sure my phone is open and the dialogue is there. So I'm sure we'll check in with each other throughout the whole summer, but I just think my job is to continue to keep getting better and keep finding ways to get better as a player.
When you look at your time here and just the way that the season came to an end, how do you view kind of the outlook here in terms of, okay, we have this, and this is kind of what we need moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard right now to see what the future will hold for our team, but you know, we got a good foundation, good infrastructure, you know, we can build on and move on from this and learn from it and get better from it. But it's a hard question to answer right now. I'm sure that, you know, as the summer and off season starts to progress, we'll figure that out a little bit more.
Kevin, your efficiency numbers probably weren't where you wanted them to be this series. Do you attribute that to your defense? Was it a lack of chemistry with the team, a combination of both? What do you attribute that to?
Just didn't make shots. I mean, it was all on me, to be honest. Like I said, I feel like I prepared the right way. I took the shots that I wanted to take. Sometimes I probably rushed a lot of my looks this playoffs, just trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's all gonna fall back on me. And you know, so I watched film throughout the summer, watched, you know, different actions that I was in throughout the year, and see how I can just keep improving.
You didn't have any threes tonight, and that's unlike you to not take any three-point shots. What did they take away?
That's pretty normal for me, to be honest.
Well, so
I felt like I chucked a lot this year. You know, once I got here, and some of this series, I felt like I just chucked a lot of threes. But usually, I'm not really a high-volume three-point shooter, so I just try to, you know, get to my spots. Maybe I should shoot more threes, but I just try to be aggressive going downhill as much as I can.
Katie, you know what winning championships is about. Do you think this franchise needs significant change to have a real chance?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, obviously, you always want to make tweaks regardless. Whoever win the championship this year, I'm sure they're going to try to add to their team too. So I feel like every year, it's the GMs, coaches, players' job is to get better and find ways to adapt and become a better team. So I'm sure we'll make adjustments.
Kevin, I'm sure the reflection comes a little bit later, but what's something that you think you really learned this year? It was a year you've never had before, being traded midseason and overcoming a lot. What's something you feel like you've learned?
I don't think I learned anything new about myself. I mean, it's just an experience that you just got to go through. I mean, the last 2 years have been some new experiences for me in the league. So, you know, just embrace it all and move forward, to be honest. You know, I know what type of person I am. I know what situations I was getting into. I understand what may happen. So I'm not blindsided by anything. So just keep pressing forward, to be honest.
Kevin, even with this sense of disappointment at the end of everything coming to a close, you mentioned the infrastructure that you feel confident in. This is a situation you obviously requested to come to. So after a postseason, you know, stretch here, what about the infrastructure that you saw before you got here? Are you still feeling pretty confident about moving forward?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I had a great time playing with these guys, getting to know these guys, living in Phoenix, playing for Coach Monty, playing for the staff, you know, so just more reps, that's all. Just more reps to that. Continue to keep building with one another. And we need to understand each other on a different level individually and as basketball players, and I think that'll come. So we'll see what happens, you know. Definitely frustrating and disappointing and embarrassing to lose. But losses happen, and it's about how you can get up and keep pushing and figuring out ways to become better. So that's really what the mantra is, just keep adjusting and seeing how we can come back better.
Thanks. Kevin, thank you, man. Thanks. How much did you guys miss DeAndre and Chris?
It's always good to have extra bodies in the playoffs. You know, it's tough losing guys, but, you know, guys, this is next man up mentality. Love how Cam played tonight. Jock came in and gave us some great minutes throughout this whole series. So you got to tip your hat to them. But, you know, injuries happen, and, you know, so you got to figure it out. And I think guys came in and played extremely hard. So, but obviously we'd love to have more bodies out there.
You knew Joker was a great player, obviously, before the series started. Is there any different level of respect or anything about his game that changes once you compete for a series?
Nah. I always had respect. I always knew how great he was. Always watching these guys, you know what I'm saying? All the great players in the league. Not surprised that these guys are good, you know, especially somebody like Jokic. I've been watching him, playing against him for a minute now since he hit his peak as a player. So, no, I wouldn't say I learned anything new. Great team, deep team, multiple guys that play well together, great continuity. Been together for what, how long Mike Malone been there? 6 years. That's a good advantage to have. You know your coach, you know the players on the team. You got a system in place for that long. So, no, I wasn't surprised at all. Jokic is an all-time great. I'm gonna go down as one of the all-time great centers to ever touch a basketball. So, he went out there and did what he was supposed to do.
Katie, just back to the game for a sec. It was 27-26, and then they run out 17 points. What happens at that point that the game got away from you guys so quickly?
They made shots. We couldn't get stops, and we were missing them. I mean, that's pretty simple. I know it sounds simple, but they came out and knocked down their shots. They got out in transition, got easy ones, and we couldn't get a bucket to go.
Thanks.
I'm counting on Stephen and Cody.
Oh, jeez.
Way to throw your partners under the bus. I will never. No, we can go.
Nikola, what did it take for you guys to beat the Suns and now advance to the Western Conference Finals?
Yes, we had the same mindset, and like we were playing at home. We were pushing out them of the space. We were the aggressors. I think the whole game, especially that first half, second quarter, first quarter. My bad. We were just really good. KCP started really well on both ends. I think better on the defensive end. Yes, he made a couple shots that's good, but his defense was really good. Bruce played really well off the bench. Everybody contributed, so it was a really nice game for
Do you
us.
feel like you guys have played your best basketball yet?
I think at home, that fifth game, I think that was our best basketball, and we contributed on the road, so I think that's a good sign for us.
Nikola, back to KCP, how important is it to have a guy in your room who's won a title? He did it recently. He knows what it takes to get there.
Yes, I heard you. So the bench played really well. Then anybody who can do something, KCP was really good today. Maybe AJ didn't have a good offensive night, but I think his defense, KD is one of the best players in the league. Probably last 10 years, I don't know how many. He's gonna make shots, but we need to be there and contest it and be there and just make a tough one. I think Christian was really good today too. Just being into it, pushing the guys, So the whole squad was really good today.
Nikola.
The whole series, to be honest.
Nikola, what was the mindset that you guys came in here with in a closeout game on the road? Because it's not easy winning a closeout game, but it's doubly tough.
It's not, especially against that team. And I think it's a defense. They score 100 points. That's something that, especially at their place, like I said, if we were just aggressive, the mindset was really on high level and of aggressiveness, focus. We know every detail, so we didn't make many mistakes, and that was why we won the game.
Nikola, there was a
really good wins, but that's only halfway there to where you want to go. What's impressed you the most in those 8 wins, and how big is the challenge ahead for you guys?
It's a great challenge, of course. We're gonna play against Warriors or Lakers, right? Both teams beat us in previous years. In the playoffs, I always say there is no favorites. Just we see how the things are going in the league, and I think that the whole teams, all teams that left are really talented, and you cannot relax, and you need to play your game and just be trusting your game. Don't let anything kind of disturb you, not you, your team, and just trust what you're doing.
Nikola,
Nothing surprised me, to be honest. Every game was, you can see every game was so. Even the Minnesota series, it's so different. We are up, down, winning, losing. I think it's interesting to be in game and just enjoy the players who play it, because I think it's a high level of basketball.
Nikola, for you, how different is this Western Conference Finals going to be compared to your first experience there? What's the difference?
I don't know, to be honest. We will see. I don't know. Hopefully it's going to be different. We lost, so that's going to be. But we were in the bubble against the Lakers. If that make any sense? We were injured against Golden State. It's on the finals. I'm just talking about the players the teams that we lost. So we have a nice opportunity to do something. We will see.
There's a stat that came out from Jack Coyne. Said that you're the first player. You're the only player. The first player in 60 years to average 30, 10, and 10 in a series win. Did you imagine that a kid from Sombor would get to this point?
No, I think you cannot imagine that, and if you're gonna talk really, like, I never imagined I'm gonna be in NBA, but that's how it happens, and I'm just glad that I'm here, and I'm just happy that my team is winning. The last 5 years we are improving every year, and every year we are making something new. Does that make any sense to you? So. It's just amazing to be part of this journey, around these guys, and like I said, I think we have something we can do something nice.
Nikola, to not only win in a closeout game, but to dominate, does that kind of show a championship mentality that you wanted to see from?
Yes. Like you said, I think. Did you ask me that question? Against the fifth game, I think we looked like really championship team. Like, we were so focused and we contributed on the road. I think, to be honest, I don't know how the championship team looks, but I think that's how it's supposed to look. We were so focused. Every detail, everybody was so locked in, and it's we were stopping them. We were making them go where we want to go. So if they want to go middle, no, we're gonna make them go other side. So we were really, really, really locked in, and I'm so proud of the guys.
Nikola, Jamal made it sound like he was pretty sick this morning. Just what stands out about what he was able to give you guys, even if he wasn't feeling 100%?
Yeah, we tricked them. Oh. That was the plan. I'm joking, I played with Jamal since he came in the league, and even when he came in, he was like a really dog, competitive, always wanting more, and always wanting to be more. And I think that's just his mindset. I'm not talking if he's sick. I think he will play anyways. He played with much worse things. But he is just a great competitor and great partner to have in this journey.
I think you have off until Tuesday now. How much good swimming pool time does that give you?
Actually, I'm going to watch. My horse is racing in Copenhagen in Sunday, so I'm going to watch that. My friend who is driving racing tomorrow in Italy, so I'm going to watch that. Family time pool, hopefully sunny days. That's it. Good food.
I was just going to ask one thing here. Kevin Durant, after the game, said he knew you were good. He didn't realize that you're going to go down as one of the greatest all-time centers to ever touch a basketball. I saw him talking to you after the game. You want to share what he said?
No. I just means a lot when someone who is. The guy is amazing. The guy. He's bringing so much attention. Like, even you can see just a regular post up or just regular dribble. We were all looking at him. So just when someone like that and someone who won it, who was MVP, scoring champion, he was best scorer probably in NBA. say something that it means a lot, and I respect that. Hey, pleasure like always, guys.
Thanks.